Welcome to the quick picks for Cage Warriors 174. I quickly want to take this moment to apologize to all the viewers and subscribers out there in regards to the tardiness and lack of content from your boy this week. I've still been breaking down all the fights that I said I'd be breaking down, from KSW to Octagon to Cage Warriors to the UFC. But in terms of actually getting content out on the YouTube page, it's been tough this week. Mentally draining, got a lot of things going on my side of things. But got the three best prop bets out, got the Locky two-step out, did not do the top three lock of the night or dog of the night videos, as I just didn't have the time or the mental capacity to do so, nor did I do a quick picks for the UFC Vegas 94 card. So I do appreciate all the understanding and concern in regards to that. All is good on this side. I just got to get my mental back in check to be able to do these videos and, turn on the camera, turn on the mic and all that stuff. Should be back to normal next week with all the usual content that you guys love to see. In regards to this Cage Warriors 174 card, we got 19 fights. And I do not think I have the mental or physical capacity to go in depth or, even talk briefly about most of these fights. So I'm just going to do a quick picks, rattling off just winner and method of victory, maybe a 1-2 sentence about why I think that fighter will win. But there's 19 fights here, guys. Bear with me. I'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. So this night actually includes the prize fighter one night tournament as well, where we got 4 fighters plus 2 alternates going to be competing maybe twice on this card. Fun fighters that they've put together here. Former bantamweight champion as well, Martignoni, is actually in the reserve belt. It would be nice to see him get that crack to get into the actual finals here, but we'll see how that goes. But the first 2 fights, or the first 3 fights, I believe the reserve belt as well, are 2 rounds, and the third, if it is 1-1 going into that third round, similar to what they do to the Ultimate Fighter. And then the finale, which will be the main event of the card, will be 3 rounds, and I don't even know if I'll get a betting line for that or such a quick turnaround from the odds makers here, so I'm not going to try to guess who I believe is going to end up winning the whole thing. So I'll just give you guys quick picks. Again, appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Let's see how we can do and how quickly we can get through this. All right, we'll start off with the reserve bout of the night between Martignoni and Alessandro Giordano. Unfortunate that both of the Italian representatives are in the reserve bout here, but I believe that this is a great fight for Martignoni to utilize his superior striking approach, take advantage of the flashy striking approach of Giordano, and end up either knocking him out or utilizing a grapple-heavy approach that he can ensure that he doesn't take too much damage and have the ability to step into the main tournament if that opportunity arises. So give me Martignoni to kick off the card here. Aiden Steven versus Alexander Loof. Very fun fight here. Striker versus grappler. But I think that the grappling approach of Steven will pay off from here. He should be able to get the back of Loof, grind this fight out, or maybe even sink in a submission. Shirzad Qadrian versus Wesley Maia is a rematch of a fight that took place last year. Qadrian came in as the big favorite last time around, but ended up getting picked apart by Maia and losing that fight on the scorecards. Maia now comes in as a big favorite at -220, -250. And if he showed off the takedown defense that he did last time around, I do not think Qadrian can make up the striking disadvantage he'll be at in this matchup. Look for Maia to torch his leg early again and come away with the 2-round decision victory here by out-damaging and stopping the takedowns of Qadrian. All right, getting to the actual card here now. Borando versus Mazzeo Elliott. 2 grapplers here, but I do lean the Elliott side, as I do think he's a little bit more capable of establishing his control and his takedowns. He's a little bit stronger as well. Borando likely the better striker here, but I think Elliott will keep him on the defensive here and grinding this fight out. Vanderlei Jr. versus Francesco Mazzeo. Car crash of a fight here. Mazzeo should be way faster, way more powerful, and way more explosive. I'll be looking at the under 1.5 if they end up dropping it here, but I think Mazzeo runs through Junior with no issues. Aslani versus Giacomo Michelis. Both guys grapple-heavy fighters, but I think Michelis is a little bit better in terms of establishing his style over the course of 50 minutes. Aslani, very powerful early, but we do see him start to fall off in terms of his effectiveness in the second and third rounds. And I think Michelis will be able to take advantage of that and grind this fight out. Emar Darcy going up against Camilla Bergstrom. Bergstrom was 1-7 as an amateur. I believe she lost her professional debut as well. But she's going up against the better Darcy here, who showcases solid striking. And I think that we'll see Darcy do what she wants here. It's tough to justify a -1,000 on low levels women's MMA, but I think Darcy wins relatively easy here. Jordan Lillo against Daniel Crooks-May. Crooks-May, powerful grinder, but lacks a technical discipline, in my opinion. I think this is where Jordan Little can make this a very squirmy and scrambly fight, and he should be able to land or at least end up in better positions, maybe even pull off a submission, but I do like Little here to win inside the distance. Riri Hudson against Jennifer Trioreau. I think Hudson is the far superior striker here. Makes sense why she's in the -350 range. I expect her to go out there and absolutely torch Trioreau, maybe even find a finish later on in this matchup, but this is Hudson's fight all around. Nicholas Leblond taking on short notice Gerasimos Sioutis. Leblond was actually supposed to fight for the title on this card. The champion Shaj Hack pulled out. Then they got a short notice replacement for an interim title against Amir Malikpour. Malikpour pulled out as well. Now Leblond is just wanting to stay on the card, and he's taking on a softball here. And Sioutis look for Leblond to eventually find the finish within a round and a half. Craig Edwards against Sergio Gavinelli. Edwards has the experience advantage here, but this guy does not showcase the BJJ black belt that apparently he has. He can be grinded out. He has a bad gas tank. Gavinelli is a bit of a bully, and he's improving the technical aspect of his game, especially with the guys that he's been training with as of late. I fully expect Gavinelli to grind this fight out, be way better in deep water, and as long as he doesn't get clipped early here, I think that he'll be able to really control this fight and ending up either winning it late or on the scorecards. Give me Gavinelli. Tommy Brunning going up against George Grozav. I really thought this was going to be a softball of a fight for Brunning, as Cage Warriors normally does a great job in terms of giving their prospects favorable matchups early. The odds insist that it's a favorable matchup for him, but Grozav is no pushover by any means. I don't mind anybody taking an underdog shot at Grozav to pull off the upset here, but I think Brunning is just a little bit too physical and a little bit too strong, and he should be able to control the majority of grappling situations in this fight. Look for Brunning to grind this fight out. Jimmy Quinn against Ahmad Bouamri. Bouamri, horrible grappling in my opinion. I think Quinn should be able to keep this fight in whatever position that he wants, and he should be able to eventually find a finish by submission. Jamie Richardson against Rafael Aronov. Both guys super sketchy records. Richardson got out-grappled last time around by Oli Santalahadi, and I think that Aronov, although he is a BJJ brown belt, this guy just likes to throw down in the pocket and look for big shots. Richardson's probably the better technical striker here, but I think Aronov will goad him into a war, and I think Aronov could actually find the big shot and put him out cold. Again, Richardson, better fighter, but probably his durability is going to be some issues here against a guy like Aronov who throws with as much heat as he does. Thomas Paull against Ahady. Paull, normally a slugger who utilized a grapple-heavy approach against a French striker last time around to win a decision. I think he's going to struggle to do that here against Ahady, who is the better technical striker, and clearly showing that he's improving his grappling game. And I think it actually could be better than what Paull has showcased recently. And I think we could see Ahady win this fight any which way he wants. As long as he doesn't get clipped and put out early, he should be able to win this fight with no issues striking or grappling. Nick Bagley against Ryan Shelley, probably the fight that I'm looking forward to most on this card. Shelley normally likes to implement his long, lanky, rangy striking style, whereas Nick Bagley looks to smush his opponents on the ground, looking to either finish them quickly or grind them out. I think Bagley can control where this fight takes place. The only issue I have is that we've seen him slow down later on in matchups, and that's where Shelley could have some success. I don't know if Shelley can actually muster up a finish to take advantage of that, but I think we'll see Bagley grind this fight out for the most part, and unless he gets closer to about -180, I'll probably stay off this fight all in all. Next up, James Webb going up against Adam Bieganski. Webb was scheduled to fight on this card for a while, if I'm not mistaken. They eventually got Biganski to step in and take this fight. I think Webb wins it. I think he's the far superior grappler here. I think Biganski has found himself in bad spots on the ground, and that's where Webb should be able to take advantage of him. The lack of durability from Webb and cardio issues from him in the past gives me some pause playing him at chalk, but I think he is the far superior fighter here, and as long as he can get this fight to the ground from jump, he should be able to find that submission within the first round and a half. All right, next up, Joanny Scott going up against Gura Harris. Very fun fight here between two solid prospects. I had Harris as a lock of the night play last time around, and luckily it didn't look like it was going that well for him until he eventually clamped onto a guillotine and forced his opponent to tap. Scott normally likes to use a grapple-heavy approach, but he does have a power-punching style he can rely on if he needs. Both guys, grapplers in my opinion, but I think that Scott will end up showcasing better control, better takedowns, and I think he'll be able to keep Gura Harris on his back. Fun fight, over 1.5 may not be a bad spot, but I do think Scott is the side here. A little bit chalky, but I still think he ends up getting his hand raised. And then the main event, Jordan Vucenic coming in against Adrian Kepa. Obviously, Vucenic always heavy chalk, minus 800 in this spot. He should be able to do what he wants against Kepa. Kepa is a Polish MMA veteran who's 4-1 over his last 5 fights. Has a win over former UFC fighter Fish Gold, but that came by injury. Kepa, power striker, has some decent grappling, but Vucenic is clearly better all around in this spot. So I'm going to go with Vucenic, and I think Vucenic should be able to get a submission here. All right. There you guys go. Quick picks for Cage Warriors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and are able to cash on some spots here. I got a couple track plays I'll be dropping once the lines start opening up on more books. So if you want to see what track plays I'm on, check out the Lock of the Night Patreon page. Link for that in the description below. Otherwise, appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate all the understanding in regards to the lack of content this week, but we should be back to all systems go next week for UFC 304 and Cage Warriors 175. Good luck on all your action, folks, and I'll see you guys on Saturday night after the fights have concluded. Peace.
Last thing.